Hello and welcome to the 7th round of the Virtual Touring Masters Classic season. Hello and welcome to Brands Hatch for the 7th round of the Virtual Touring Masters Classic Championship. This is the 10th race of the season, should I say. And we are here at Brands Hatch in Season 2. We're here at Virtual Touring Masters. We visited this track and it was Toby Davis who executed a perfect strategy, one stopping while others around him did no stops, and he won the race comfortably as a result. Now this season, it's been a bit more of a struggle for Toby Davis in the last few races. He's given up lots of ground to Adrian Holm. We'll show you the championship standings now just quickly before we go into qualifying coverage for you. And here are those standings for you all. Adrian Holm now with a 33-point lead in the championship. This has all come about because of the incident at Pukekohe, should I say, where Toby Davis crashed into his teammate and friend Chris Butcher, got penalty points for that, and also at Salzburg Ring where he got involved with Olimaris Merville. That's held him up, and he ended up getting a poor result in that race as well, with Adrian Holm winning. So Toby really needs to get back to winning ways today at this track. 50 points in offer at this track today. So let's go into qualifying for you guys now. We'll have a look at what the status quo is currently. And out on track was Toby Davis in pre-practice. And he was the fastest guy, a 30.6. Also during pre-practice in the lead up to this event, Adrian Holm was set a 30.6 as well. And they seem to be, both of them, light years ahead of the rest of the field. So this could very well be a massive race in the championship where they go head to head for the win. The problem for Toby, of course, is he needs other people to be involved. He needs other people in front of Adrian Holm taking points off him, because if Adrian just finishes second for the rest of the championship, it's pretty much assumed that he will win the championship no matter what Toby does. So Toby needs help from others, people like Adrian Holm, people like John Munro, people like Riesenmuller, Neiring, McGregor, and maybe new drivers who have come across who are very famous at GP people like Heesterbeek and Sven de Vries. Come with big reputations. They are apparently going to be racing for Walk Racing in the future. The well-known team of Karamidaru Bogdan, who is known to sign superstars for his team and took his first teams and drivers title in the virtual mini challenge earlier this year. So his couple of years of work have finally come to fruition, and he has signed these two drivers to help move the team forward once again. My apologies for no sound there as well. So we'll wait to see what these two big names can do. Toby Davis has done a 30.6 straight away in this qualifying session. However, Adrian Holm is there with a 30.7, a very low 30.7 as well. So the fight is on almost absolutely immediately. And look at the gaps already. There's a 6/10 gap as Toby Davis gets out of the way of Chris Butcher there, almost loses it into the gravel, and Tim Stroud coming through now as well on his qualifying lap. Let's check in with Klaus Neiring. And I'm joined today by Keith Barrick also as well. We're just talking, Keith, about how Davis and Holm they seem to be light years ahead of the field at this track right now. Because look at the gap times and through leading up in the first 2 weeks, and there's 2 weeks up to this event they've been several tenths faster than everybody else. It could be a head-to-head battle.
Yes, and sorry for being a little late. TeamSpeak was giving me a hard time, but they seem to have been kind of this way most of this season, except for a couple of exceptions. But here, like you said, half a second at Brands Hatch is a significant amount because of the fact that it's such a flowing track. Neiring being third at the moment currently it's fantastic, but we are going to be in for a Davis and Holm show, and we've seen things come up throughout the season already where one or both of them can get put back, and I mean the other guys get a chance to show some speed and I guess blossom through the adversity of the other racers.
Yeah, and immediately in this qualifying session as well, interestingly, they've gone very, very close to their PBs almost immediately.
Yes. Right
from the get-go. So they are really on fire at the moment.
Yeah, it's a common theme that we've seen this season with a lot of these guys putting their personal best down. And you've basically talked about it at every race, that these guys are able to do that. And it's not easy to do. You know, as a racer yourself, Ryan, that that personal best is something you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And it doesn't matter. You put countless hours in practice, but when you do it in qualifying, it's a pretty gratifying feeling.
It absolutely is, and Toby Davis at the moment is looking the quicker of the two, the more consistent of the two, it seems at the moment, able to go to that 30.6 quite consistently, and he's only 200ths of a second off his pole time at the moment on this lap. We will check in with Adrian Holm because he's further around the lap, press the right button, and he's further around the lap, and he's now going through Westfield, down the hill now, down to what's formerly known as Dingledale, is now known as Sheen.
It's Sheen.
Yeah, Sheen, but I always know it as Dingledale, and Holmes decided to quit the lap. He was actually not far off.
He wasn't far off at all.
Well, I think actually that's probably just a glitch in the timing because that's actually his gap to Toby Davis in the standing at the moment, isn't it? So, let's see what Toby Davis can do. He's down as well in that middle sector. And up until today, actually, as well, Toby was struggling at this track. He really wasn't feeling any kind of love for it. Remember, he won here in Season 2 last time he came to Brands Hatch. In fact, last time we came to Brands Hatch, we raced the Indy circuit. It was Precision Motorsport that dominated in Thomas on Cole Clearsons, but this is the first time we've been back to the GP layout in 3 years. And Toby is hooking the inside there, looking for the shortest run, and
look
he
at
goes
that,
even faster.
Wow,
unbelievable. It's down to a 0.525.
Yes.
What can Holm do about that?
I don't know. Maybe just eat some ice cream in the pits.
Yeah, and do you think that's it?
Actually, that sounds delicious. But McGregor goes fifth while we're thinking about ice cream.
He does, and it's very close actually between the rest of the field. These two at the front are absolutely braining them at the moment. And one of the drivers are making his TPS debut here today, Keith. Ruud Heesterbeek.
Okay,
big name across the pond.
Let me get this right. So Ruud Heesterbeek.
Yes.
Excellent.
Big name across the pond at GPV. How do you think he'll fare today?
Well, I don't know anything about him, and if he does watch this on, I'm a little detached at the moment. Lots going on, but I just would like to apologize in advance if I do butcher your name, Rude, because I am known to do so throughout the broadcast, but it's nothing personal. It actually, some people take it as a compliment.
Most people do not. Anyway, Sven de Vries is also teaming up with his good friend Rude Easterby. What's happening with these guys? They're going to drive for Walk Racing in the Virtual Carrera Cup Championship and in other championships as well. And this is kind of their hit out, their tryout.
Checking things out
with their new team. So they're really enjoying these cars also as well. So looking forward to Sven de Vries, who's in 17th moment, and Rude Easterby to see what they can do. With 2 minutes to go in this qualifying session, Davis is still on top with that 30.525. I think he can go eat ice cream, Keith. Everybody else can have no ice cream at all.
Yeah, and Davis is always one to put it all out there. If now I think he's gonna bin that lap and try to get around to put one more in. Holm is going to be able to get one more lap in here, but currently he's not on pace to better his own time. But if he gets a slipstream, it's difficult because Davis just nailed that lap.
He did absolutely beautiful lap, and his car looking much better through this back section circuit than it was earlier also as well. Just ahead of Adrian Holm there, you might recognise that yellow Sierra. I think, Miguel Nato. It's not Miguel Nato. Miguel did campaign that earlier in the season at Laguna Seca. That's now been taken over by Sven de Vries. So in case you're a little bit confused by that, Jeff Dobbing up into the ninth spot once again.
Just ahead of Michael Helen too.
Yeah, Michael Helen is fantastic as well. But Jeff Dobbing has been fantastic in qualifying so far this season. He's been in the top 10 regularly, and he's really impressed a lot of people. He hasn't really got the results that he deserves.
Well, but maybe this is it. Brands Hatch can bring out some fun, and it can also give a lot of heartache. It is actually one of the first tracks I ever drove in the newer sims, I would call it, with rFactor, with Race 07, especially Race 07. I religiously raced this track, and was always fun. The obviously, I mean, most famous Paddock Hill Bend is just a world-class corner.
I mean, the control you have to have of your car going down that hill, you think, it's quite a wide corner this, and suddenly as you go down the hill, you run out of road, and there's gravel on the outside, that slows you right up if you even just rush it also as well.
But gravity and inertia is a terrible thing sometimes.
And Davis here is all over the back of Adrian Holm. I think he's probably just playing with him, trying to distract him, trying to make sure he doesn't actually set a fast lap time.
Yeah,
because
Reese Gardner bumps up. Reese Gardner does slip up to 12th after suffering some heartache at the last round. But yeah, you're right though. This is a bit of mental warfare here. Is that Holm is trying to dethrone Davis as Davis fills the mirror on this lap here around Brands Hatch.
See the split? See the splits? No, it's not going to do it. It's not going to do it that time, and he's missed the apex there also as well. So whether those scare in inverted commas tactics works or not, he hasn't done it. So Toby Davis will be on pole position here at Brands Hatch, and he'll be feeling good about that. Everyone's saying how this is a Sierra circuit, as opposed to we've had Pukekohe and Salzburg Ring as Skyline circuits. So people are looking forward to having this. And we may see pit stop in this one, Keith. We'll discuss strategy in a wee bit. We'll also discuss the virtual Carrera Cup calendar that we've got coming up this winter also. Well, anybody else still out on track? Let's have a look for you. Oh yes, Thomas Demelin out on track. Daniel Beck goes into 20th as well. He's improved in the dying seconds here. UHARD 209 is not going to be qualifying, it seems like here. Qualifying cut-off at the moment will be, if I get my little calculator out.
Oh, look at that. Ross McGregor goes to third.
Oh, unbelievable.
With no time to go, he just takes Klaus Nyring out of third at the last second. What a lap by Ross.
And Thomas Demelin, in the dying embers of this qualifying session, has just qualified. And you might say, what? He's just qualified. The cutoff was a 35.0 to qualify. Demelin has got in with a 34.9 in the dying seconds. Well done to Thomas Demelin for keeping going there. And he has managed to qualify for this. But it's Toby Davis on pole position. We'll give you a rundown of the grid in just a couple of minutes here also as well. We'll be right back in just a minute or two.
InsideSimRacing.tv, The fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Yep. And we are back here live from Brands Hatch. We just finished with qualifying here, and we have seen Toby Davis put his Ford Sierra Cosworth on the pole at a 1:35.25. Now, we've seen a lot of the Skylines and a lot of the Sierras this season. I do believe that it isn't just strictly car choice. I do believe the drivers are making I would say 90% of what is happening out there happen. These cars are making their ways around. The cars are not making their way around themselves. Toby Davis and Adrian Holm locked in a pretty substantial championship battle here. Davis needing to get the better of Holm here in this event as we close out the rest of this season. Davis taking the pole here with Holm taking his second position, but he's almost 2/10 back in a qualifying lap. So we will see how this plays out over the course of a race, as Holm is definitely known to keep his car together a little better than Davis, as Davis is exciting to watch, but hard on equipment. Ross McGregor taking the third position, followed by Klaus Nyringen. And McGregor took that position away from Nyring in the very last seconds of the qualifying session. So
that's his best qualifying of the season as well.
Yes, exactly. And Nyring has shown some great promise. He's up there, so we definitely want to watch. John Monroe is in the fifth position, followed by Chris Butcher in sixth, which is surprisingly a good qualifying position for Chris compared to his qualifying as of late. I mean, he seems to have been struggling a bit, but putting him up there in the mix is always fun, entertaining, and a little unpredictable, maybe. That was kind of a question statement. Robert Wiesenbuehler finished in qualified in seventh position, followed by Ruud Heesterbeek, who I think I got that right.
You did, fantastic.
Jeff Dobbing, fantastic qualifying in the ninth position, followed by Kevin Enderman in the Volvo 240. Fantastic qualifying from Kevin. We have Mikhail Helen in the 11th position in the BMW. Matt Richards in the Volvo in the 12th. Reese Gardner in 13th, the highest ranked Holden. Hopefully Reese is got all of his bad luck out of the way, and this is going to be a good, solid event for him. Matej Orban, the consistent Matej Orban, is in 14th. Pedro Amaral in 15th. Sven de Vries in 16th. David Yunt in 17th. Anders Nilsson in 18th. Jay Adji in 19th. Kjell Stenbeck in 20th.
Right behind his good friend Anders once again. That seems to happen every single race.
Good times ahead. Daniel Beck in 21st. Ethan Bass in 22nd. Paul Menard in 23rd. Gary Lennon in 24th. Chris Vickers in 25th. Jonathan Ockerklint in 26th. Andy Bernard 27th. Tim Straub in 28th. And I believe it is Tomasz Demelin
29th.
Who closes out 29th.
It does indeed.
Yes.
So 29 drivers qualified.
Yes, and Tomasz Demelin just sneaking in at the very last there. What are your thoughts on Toby Davis and Adrian Holm in comparison to their car maintenance over the course of races?
You never tell with Toby. He's either hot or cold, isn't he? He either he looks after his equipment massively better than everybody else, or worse than everybody else. It's never a consistent, yes, we know he'll look after it. Like with Holm, we will say, yes, we know he'll look after his car. We can say that with some confidence.
Yes.
We don't know with Toby. It's such a conundrum. And the story of the championship so far this season also as well, from what I've seen, has also been... Sorry, 1 second. It's also been... sorry, if you want to carry on, Keith, I just need to fix the broadcast page a second.
No problem. No, but I again, which I think what Ryan was trying to touch on, as he kind of had a bit of a failure there, is that Adrian has shown this season across the board that he can keep the car together, even under a little undue stress that he wasn't expecting in qualifying up front, having a bad start, going back, keeps calm, doesn't push the car too hard, knows that he's got a good car to the end, knows where the car is going to be, and just gets the job done without any incidents, where Davis has not shown that this season. But obviously with the nothing being set in stone, anything can happen at the start of a race. This is a long event, and we have a lot of guys that are just a little ways off pace-wise, but are close enough that if something did happen up front, they can definitely get ahead. McGregor, Nyring, Monroe, Butcher, Wiesemuller. There's a lot of things that could happen should there be any incident up front. And you never wish for it, but kind of as commentators you do for excitement. But racing-wise, it will prove a little more exciting if you do get that kind of little slower pace ahead of the guys who set the pace in qualifying.
I mean, we saw a very normal race at I would say, what's the word? At sorry, words are completely failing me at the moment. At Salzburg, we saw a very sedate race. Everything kind of happened as it should, apart from the Davis and Mervold excitement, and that was quite unusual for Touring Pro Series, for VTM so far this season. It's been quite hectic, hasn't it?
Yes, that's true. And the other thing is, well, I mean, it could be a tame race. It could be very spread out. We could have battling back and forth. It always seems to change a little bit per race where, we're expecting a lot of action, which we were expecting at the last race. I mean, you and I both talked about it, and it was a little more tame than what we were expecting. So, never really know what to expect. Just know we got some drivers with incredible pace here so far. We got a warm-up lap to do, and then we'll get formed up. And we're doing it's 35 laps here for this event.
39 laps.
39. I'm sorry, I can't read.
That's okay. So now this is the formation lap. Everybody is out on that formation lap, and we'll go on board with Toby Davis and look back at the field as he leads them round the back of this Brands Hatch circuit. I'll just be absent just for a few seconds here. I'm just trying to fix the broadcast page, Keith. It's rather broken.
Oh. Well, we have no stream up? Ah, what happened there?
No, there's the width. Yeah, carry on.
Okay, well, as Ryan tries to fix the world, we're going to follow with Davis around here, and Brands Hatch is basically a world-renowned race circuit, very fast, very technical, but very flowing at the same time. And if you can get the car to just basically the near edges of catastrophe, you can find speed like Davis has. It does favor those who will risk that, but it also can be very, very devastating throughout the course of a long race, pushing the car to those extremes lap after lap after lap. And this is what we will see over the course of this race. Will a calm, kind of safe race fare better over the course of 39 laps, or will getting ahead, pushing the car to those limits, and then easing back halfway through? We'll see as this race progresses. But these guys are now lining up. Toby Davis will be taking the pole, so he's the first one to line up as close to that start-finish line as possible. We will have 29 drivers taking the green here, as you can look back from the back of Davis's Sierra Cosworth and see the rest of the field slowly filing in here. And you just kind of wonder, will Davis get off the line good? Will Holm get off the line good? I don't know. What do you think, Ryan?
Well, I'm thinking, Keith, that I can't fix this page at the moment.
Okay.
As fast as I can.
What I'm thinking is you take over for the race. I will go look at that.
Well, I'm thinking you don't have to do CSS. So anyway, carry on.
No, I didn't.
Away from the race they go, and Davis is going to take the lead. It's a great start there from Davis, actually. Holm has also been good at his starts this season so far, but Davis has seen him off at the start. Through into Drury's. Butcher on the inside there now at Drury's also well, and he's through into third spot. McGregor is back to fourth. Monroe is sixth. Going back to fifth. No, he is in fourth, actually, because of Tim Straub messing with the timing there. With Monroe in fifth and Nyring in sixth spot. That all sorted itself out after the first lap. But Butcher, good start from him. Could he mess with Adrian Holm? I was talking earlier, Keith, about how we need somebody. Davis needs somebody to get ahead of Holm. He can't have Holm finish second for the rest of the season because that's no good to him.
Yes, exactly. Well, and this is exactly what has to happen. Is Straub has disconnected there. Butcher, again, like I said, very exciting to be up there. But look at the battle just happening just behind there. You got 4 or 5 cars, 2 wide. As you got, I believe.
Gone! Oh, he's gone! He's caught it! He caught it! I cannot believe he did not lose that. That's unbelievable. Let's watch this again on the replay.
What a fantastic save!
So he goes through following this massive skyline battle, because 4 skylines, he's ducking one way or the other, looking one way or the other. He's gone over the curb just a bit too much, got unsettled, and that is a fabulous save. Has saved his race right there. And other people probably as well.
Save. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, right in that position where he is, if he comes across the track, he's taken quite a few people out at that point. But Davis leads the first lap here with Holm just following in tow. Butcher back in third and McGregor in fifth. So not too much changing at the start of this race, other than Butcher getting a fantastic start up.
Well, Enderman's looking a bit racy in the background there also well. And here we go. Here's the timing sorted itself out. Apologies for that. Nothing we can do. But as they go past the first sector on the second lap, it's all sorted itself out. It's an unusual one. De Vries has had a great start to the race. He's gone from 17th to 10th. Look at that. Wiesenmuller's back to 11th spot now. Start. Let's go back and watch Wiesenmuller. He's probably going to be making his way through these drivers now. So this could be a good action place to watch the race from. De Vries ahead of us there in the yellow Sierra. Enderman there in the white Volvo 240. And Heasterbeek ahead of him in 8th spot. And Richards has got ahead of Enderman at the start as well. So Richards has had a great start to the race also, because Enderman qualified 2 positions ahead of Richards. That's 5 positions gained for Matt Richards, as you can see from the graphic there. Butcher up 3, McGregor down 1, but stays quite at the front, Davis and Holm.
Yeah, the apologies to everyone for the broadcast page there. Just not caught in time, but still nonetheless a good race happening here. We got Davis leading, not by a margin that you would think to see. I figured Holm would drop off a little bit off the start, but definitely not the case here, as even Butcher stays close at 1.7 seconds back of Davis as well. Now down the inside, Robert Wiesenmuller into turn 1 just slides by.
Oh, he's not going to slide by just yet. De Vries is going to go round the outside. It's not going to work. Wiesenmuller is through, and he's up back into that 10th spot. As we expected, Keith, he is one of the top 5 drivers in terms of pace here, so that's going to be interesting. And the gap is 0.1 at the front of the field. We should probably keep an eye on this also as well, because Butcher, as has been his want this season so far, has qualified poorly, not practiced very much, and then when it comes to race time, here he goes.
Yeah, Buchacho. But very close. But now Davis pulling just a slight gap. I don't know if you're going to see too much action from Holm, because he doesn't need to beat Davis on track. Exactly. He just does not. He just needs to finish close and think about the long term of the championship. I mean, like any racer does think, you got a chance to win, you try to take it. Oh, and the drift by Richards there.
Monroe made a mistake. Monroe's made a mistake. What's happened here? He's gone wide at Westfield, I think. Through Hawthorns he comes now. Just going down to Westfield. He must go wide here because he's now in behind Klaus Naring, I think. No, he's not. He's just timing glitch. I do apologise for that. He's actually still in that fifth position, should I say. So that'll correct itself as he goes across the line now as well. Davis fastest lap, 32.080. The lap times are quite different from qualifying, though, as well. A bit different to other tracks. Other tracks we've seen, at the race times, you could be in, like the top 5 or 6 when it came to your fastest lap times. But here, a bit different. The soft tyre makes a huge difference.
So you were talking about strategy. What were your thoughts?
Well, I was thinking most people are just going to go with the safe option of a 1-stop here on the hards. But we might be seeing somebody on a 2-stop and mediums, but I don't think we're seeing that. There's nobody, kind of out of kilter. There's nobody pushing through with a bit of unexpected speed. So we may see here just a simple 1-stop in the middle of the race, lap 18, 19, 20, and away we go. So we might not see much variation on that.
Yes, I mean, we're not. I don't think with the pace that Davis has at the moment, we're going to see any type of crazy strategy of him throwing out there, like a 2-stop or something like that. I just don't think we're going to see it because he's there. He's
definitely started the race on hard. The lap times are definitely hard tyre lap time. So he's definitely not started the mediums, and he won't go to mediums. I wouldn't think he would go to mediums at some point anyway.
No, I don't think it's. But now, mind you, he is the one who needs to put it all out there. So that is something that we got to consider.
Yeah. Of course, but if he's already leading the race, then there's not much else you can do, really, is there? You just win the races at the end of the day. And Kjell Stenbeck and Anders Nielsen have got involved at some point. I could try and find them on the track. Here we go, through the field we go. And here's Kjell Stenbeck. He's either missed the timing line or gone backwards. I think he's gone backwards. And he's now in behind Rhys Gardner. Gardner's not had a good start to the race. He qualified
terrible
in 10th,
start for Gardner.
But he could be zooming past Gary Lennon here with the power of that Holden. There's a bit more power than that poor little Toyota Supra. Toyota Supra has 340 horsepower, but that has 440 horsepower. But of course, it weighs a huge amount more. You see that through the corners as Lennon stays ahead. Gardner is threatening on the inside there. Lennon should not really belong any space on the inside there for the Holden because it's much better on the brakes, and he does not do that. So Gardner stays in that 21st spot. Leading the race still is Toby Davis, but still behind him, stalking him, it's Adrian Holm. And I was talking, trying to say earlier, story of the championship has been Holm has not made mistakes. Davis has. The only mistake actually Holm has made is running wide at Suzuka on the opening lap, put himself back 5 positions, but it's the opening lap. He was able to recover that, and he won that race. Davis has cost himself, and I have the details for you. Fighters Park, final lap, race 2. He's running in 2nd spot, pushes too hard, spins out, finishes 5th. That cost him plenty of points. He also, at Laguna Seca, leading the race, heading into the final corner ahead of his main rival, Adrian Holm, gives up the race. Adrian Holm wins the race. He doesn't defend correctly. And the time's gone over place, isn't it, today?
It is,
in this race. And then we also, as well, at Pukekohe, he had the incident with Butcher, which not only cost him positions, it allowed Adrian Holm to get ahead of him, and it cost himself penalty points as well. And then we also had the fracas at Salzburgring with Olimarius Mervold, which cost him a couple of positions in the overall result as well. But Holm, through all of that, has not made a mistake, and anything that he's been involved with has usually been as a result of contact from behind chain reaction. We talked about it last race. Laguna Seca, Raivio and Nairin come together, Holm gets taken out, and then at Pukekohe, Davis and Mervold come together, and Holm gets taken out then. So Holm has done pretty much mistake-free season so far, and Davis has not, and that's been the difference.
You think Holm might go for a no-stopper?
I very much doubt it. He was very safe at Salzburgring, wasn't he? And the Salzburgring, the no-stop, was faster in the end, but he played the safe card and went with the one-stop. I don't see why he would be more risky at this particular event when he doesn't need to be. True. And he's right off the back of Toby Davis at the moment, isn't he? He's monstering him, actually. In fact, he's taking tighter lines, look, and that's beautiful lines from Adrian Hall. It just runs wide there into Dingle Dell. Davies just also as well just puts a wheel on the grass on the exit. Well, this is big pressure right here. These are 2 big names at the top of their game.
Yeah, and it doesn't get much closer than that as you drive around here at Brands Hatch. Davis,
well, they're 2 masters of their trade, aren't they, Keith?
Of course. Oh, yeah, definitely. And Holm is just kind of has been slowly mastering his craft, and this season has really showed what he's made of. But this is a hard way to drive, as you can see Davis sliding and Holm just easing about, and it just seemed this is been the storyline for these 2 guys this season.
We've seen this so often this season, haven't we? It really has been a Hamilton-Rosberg kind of battle.
Yes, absolutely. Now, there is a close battle between De Vries and Enderman that I've been kind of keeping an eye on. Been within a 10th pretty well the last few laps.
Wiesenmuller also is battling Richards, who just squeezes down the inside. Graham Hill doesn't make it stick, of course. It's difficult to make it stick through there. These guys are having a great battle at the moment. Wiesenmuller's come through them all, of course. Remember, he did that long slide down the hill from Westfield on the opening lap, and he went back to 11th spot. He's now back to 7th, and he's looking to scamper away from this lot. He's not liking this battling. More battling here also well with Ross McGregor and Klaus Naring. These guys have been battling all season as well when Ross has been in the races. And John Munro is not far away, while Chris Butcher is losing touch with the leaders and still has a lonely gap to Ross McGregor himself. So Wiesenmuller is just still ahead of this battle. Matt Richards is absolutely flying at the moment. That Volvo is on fire. It almost loses on the exit there. He just held that slide. 2 or 3 big wheels. He's got Heasterbeek behind him, Enderman behind him, De Vries behind him. What a battle, Keith.
Oh, and look at this. So
looking one way, then the next. Heasterbeek through.
Yeah, and as you got Enderman just hanging on at the moment here with De Vries following real close. This battle will, I just think that over the next few laps here, you're going to start to see some interesting stuff between these guys because you've got a nice mixture of cars. and some nice driving skill between these drivers.
Well, in fact, there's only actually 2 cars here, isn't there? There's it looks like there's a 4-car battle. It just occurs to me there's 2 Volvos and 2 Sierras as well.
Ooh, as he wiggles around a little bit.
That's Volvo. Does like to accelerate off the corner. It's got beautiful low down torque. Has the Volvo, and it's lighter than the Sierra also as well. It's very much a pointed squirt car. Once it gets to high speed, the drag really doesn't help it at all. The Sierra is quite draggy, but nowhere near as much as the grocery getter, the fridge, as it is known in circles. But remember, this was the champion car, this Volvo, in the season we are replicating right now, and it is very quick. And Richards is just about holding off Heasterbeek at the moment. Went defensive down the hill there.
Oh, look at the Volvo!
Monster in the curves through Hawthorns there, and now through Westfield. This big bump here off camber throws you right off. This big curb up there. It's tempting to use it, but the curb ends quite quickly, and it's easy to run onto the grass there, and the grass just drags you along, and you go straight off into the gravel. Heasterbeek hanging it right out, so is De Vries. Round the outside goes Enderman. He wants a piece of this. He's going for the cutback. Surely here, Enderman sideways, and we got Richards off the track also as well. Heasterbeek is defending from Enderman into clearways. Through Clark they go, and it's such a fantastic battle at the moment, with no positional changes at the moment, but great to watch.
None. No, nothing has changed position, but it's just fantastic to watch these guys do this little synchronized dance.
Contact. Richard as well, sideways, and Heasterbeek. Enderman's going to go through and pass them all. Enderman is going to go through into 8th spot here. He outbreaks them into Druids, and De Vries. De Vries looked like he was going to strip the track. He's gone through on Heasterbeek. He's going to try around the outside now of Richards. That's not going to work. He's going to slot back in, and the 2 Volvos are ahead of the 2 Sierras now.
You got Richards and Enderman in the Volvos. You got the 2 teammates, Heasterbeek.
Look at the sideways action. Beautiful through Surtees. And the sideways going to the exit. And both of them sideways. Here comes De Vries as well. Just ahead of him is Wiesenmuller. He's made a small mistake, and he's come back to this battle. De Vries, he's pushing through. And then cutting straight across in front of Enderman. And De Vries. Oh, no. Off the track goes Richards. Did he get a tap?
He did get a tap. He got a tap.
Let's have a look. On the replay.
What happened? This is what happened. De Vries has the run and tries to cut across to get into the inside here. And as he does, there's a little defensive from Richards. And going in on the braking.
No.
Oh, no.
Just all by himself. He went far too quickly into the corner. And off he went. So De Vries, completely innocent in that regard. But he has picked up all 3 of those positions in the end and come out on top. That's fantastic stuff.
Yes, and we were there. We were right on board when that was going on. That's fantastic stuff.
And where is Matt Richards now? Back in 23rd spot. He went off at enormous speed. Well, I don't know what happened to him. He went into Hawthorns impossibly quickly, didn't he? And hit the barrier hard as well. I don't know. Something go wrong with his equipment or something? I'm not quite sure.
The Fanta cap.
Maybe a Fanta cap. Maybe it was a Tango cap. Do you have Tango in
Tango? Look at this. Look at this. Down the inside. So there goes Heasterbeek.
But now he has the outs. He went through. Enderman led him through. That was very kind of him. Nice. Very nice stuff. Enderman lets Heasterbeek and De Vries go. So De Vries having a great debut in the Touring Pro Series here at the moment. He qualified 17th, and he's up to 8th spot. It's going to be more difficult from here on in, though, because he's got Heasterbeek behind him, who has had more latent pace in the pre-practice. So let's look at the rest of the field for you. Here is 17th through 28th. We lost Tim Straub. Everybody else is still running, though, so that's impressive stuff. We're on lap 10 already, Keith. Where did that go? JRG in 17th spot with Gardiner slowly making his way forward. This track is not the most suitable for the Holden. And he did De Vries.
Yes.
He's run wide. And now Heasterbeek's going to go through. That I was talking about. That's what happens at Westfield. And through goes Heasterbeek in the haze of dust as they come through into Dingledell, as is normal at that particular corner. But back to the front of the field. Let's go back to the story, Keith, because here is Davison Holm.
Yes.
Looks like it's getting more and more of a battle here.
Yeah, it looks like Davis's pace is down to a 32.7, and I can bet you that if Holm had some clear track right now, his pace would be a little bit quicker.
Almost nailed the back of Toby Davis there also. But of course, it is easier to follow than it is to lead, remember, as well. So it could be that Holmes just taking his cues off Toby Davis. Although, don't take too many cues, because he is quite sideways all the time. 2 very different driving styles, isn't there? There's a very big contrast between these 2 drivers. Davis is very much heart on sleeve, go for every move, live for the moment, sideways kind of driver. Holmes a very calculated, big picture, smooth kind of driver. It's very much a Prost versus I don't know, a Mansell or something like that, isn't it? With Toby Davis.
Very much so. And while these guys are pulling away, the battle actually of Butcher Monroe has closed up.
Yeah,
and McGregor and Nyring are also closing in as well on Butcher and Monroe. So that could play out as we get towards the time where people will be pitting. As you just look at the
Holm was looking menacing here. It's going to be a matter of time, surely.
Well, I mean, Davis is not easy to pass. He makes it very difficult with the wiggles and sidewaysness of his vehicle.
You'd probably just get scared following him, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's got sideways, I'll get the way. Oh, no, he's actually still going as quickly as before.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating. Oh, and here comes Holm. Davis is defending the inside. Holm's on the outside. Holm's got slightly more power, but Davis has the inside run into Paddock Hill. But he shouldn't let Holm go through here. And he doesn't. He holds him off on the outside. Holm tries to cut back. Davis is going to try and cover that also as well. And he does hold it. In fact, in Druid, sometimes you can just take the normal racing line and brake on the perfect point. You then get the apex beautifully, or you're on the outside and then the inside for this corner here. So Davis there, he is holding on to the lead right now, Keith. What's your money on? Do you think Holm's going to get past before the first pit stop?
I think he's either going to get past or there's going to be an incident.
There's going to be an incident. Oh, an incident. That's be the first this season. These two have not come together. They've not come to blows at any point this season so far, despite the fact they've raced this close pretty much of every single race.
Well, Davis has gone full defensive at this point, and Holm is looking really
He knows he can't
anxious.
let Holm go. He knows he can't let Holm go. If Holm goes, championship completely over. He has to gain points in this race.
Yes, he does. And
he'll be begging Butcher to go faster. He'll be absolutely begging him.
Oh, look at this sideways as
he's
Davis loses traction.
He's got a move.
What a move. Davis tries the cutback using a bit of curb. Oh, now he's on the outside. He's going to have to try a cutback. All Holm is going to have to do is park it a bit on the apex so he can't get a run. Davis slides it.
He does. But he's not got quite the power of the skyline as well, so it's difficult to make a move as well. Oh, down the inside there. You need to just hold back a little bit and get the slipstream here and try and get him in the first sector. If he doesn't get in the first sector here, Holm is gone. Bang. He's out of here.
Yes. Consistency in that pace is what Holm is just carrying right now. Is there you go, there's a perfect shot.
He's all about that pace. No sliding.
And Holm comes through turn one, just perfectly smooth as Ryan comes up with some ridiculousness.
It's more Cullen singing. Anyway, Davis is behind Holm now, and this must be gutting for Toby Davis because he's 33 points behind Holm in the championship. This is a 50-point race. He needs Holm to be behind him. He needs Holm to be third or fourth, but at least Davis wins and Holm gets second. He is holding on to the back of Holm right now, so it's kind of bearing out at the moment the fact that it is easier to lead than it is. It is easier to follow than it is to lead.
Well, the other thing is if Holm starts to pull away, Davis will be watching the championship pull away from him.
And it's just both of them beautiful lines through all of these corners at the moment.
Yeah, and like you said though, it does show that it is a little easier. But see, look at the understeer he had approaching the apex of that corner. As you can really just see how Holm's car is just hanging on, and Davis is just on the ragged edge trying to stay there.
He was struggling earlier in practice with tire pressures. The tires getting too hot. If you lower the tyre pressure, he didn't have enough speed, so he was struggling with that. I wonder if that's one of the issues here. Tyres have overheated, they've overpressurized, so they've got less contact patch, of course, and they've overheated, which means they've got less grip. They're not their optimal temperature, and it's just and it's a vicious cycle from there, isn't it, Keith?
Yes, very vicious cycle that is, and I can only imagine the frustration as he's trying. He's like, okay, how can I do this? How can I get by? What do I got to do?
What would you do?
Ice cream.
No answers of ice cream. That's as bad as me singing. What would you do?
I honestly think that I would just throw one down the inside.
And he did do it there.
Oh, contact!
It was a small piece. They all sorted themselves out. No drama there.
But I do think that my answer is a little it's very general. I would be trying, without causing me too much issue, trying to put it up the inside so that Holm might make a mistake, trying to force him into a mistake, because Holm is not going to slam the door with the possibility of big contact. So just keep trying, keep putting a nose in, and you might force him into a mistake, which is what you need at the moment.
Remember, Holm hasn't been making mistakes. That's the issue. Davis is doing fantastic. I thought Holm was gone. I thought Holm was absolutely gone. Davis is right there. This is just the roles reversed right now.
True. And he is hanging
Davis
right
is
there.
actually smoother than he was before when he was leading.
It's true. He's not sideways, but now he's got a good run. All he's got to do is he's just got to find a spot where he can get up beside him. Oh, as he locks up. Oh, see, that's what you
sideways. He's held on. The gap's still there. Down the inside. No, not going to work there. I don't think he was actually really trying. He's just diving into the corner, making sure Holm knows that Holm is under big pressure here. This is huge pressure from Davis.
He's down the inside.
Going to go for a move. Not going to work. Davis going to now fall back in behind. Holm had the momentum on the outside, and now Holm, and now cut back to the inside. This is what he's trying to do. No, it's not going to work this time either. The big bump there. They get sideways on the exit. No. Holm holds on. Davis still leading.
He is doing exactly what he needs to do, is try to rattle Holm a bit. We haven't seen him rattled this season, but who knows? This might be the time where he does get rattled and maybe accelerate a little hard drop wheel as Davis gets a massive down the inside.
A surprise move down the inside. Holm's gonna have to run out onto the curve. Oh, he's sideways all the way. That was gonna hit Davis
through.
Davis, what a move that from Davis. That's fantastic stuff. That's exactly what he needed to do. Holm goes back to second spot. Davis is back in the lead of this race. That is a turn up for the Bucks, Keith. I did not predict that.
I didn't actually see him making the move there. I thought he would have waited a little bit, but that is
exactly like a surprise move, though.
Well, that's what he needed, a surprise move. And the crazy part about these two their pace at the moment is that these guys are still pulling away from Butcher while battling like this. And look at this. Davis down to the inside to defend. Holm to the outside. Down into turn one, not going to quite do it, but this is where Davis is. It looks like his car's understeered quite a bit through Paddock Hill Bend as they head into turn two here. Druids.
Well, remember, guys, this is not just a race win battle. This is not just friends, teams battle. This is not just multiple race winners battle. This is not just two TPS greats battle. This is for the championship. This is the microcosm of the championship right here.
I like that word, microcosm.
Microcosm, you like the word? Okay.
Very good.
Do you know what it means?
I don't, but it sounds nice.
So
Holm actually just showed a very uncharacteristic wiggle.
He did.
Coming out of Surtees. I actually was a little shocked to see that because he lost a significant amount of time, and
that was not a microcosm of his driving.
No, it was not. The megacosm.
A megacosm. Yeah.
It doesn't exist. So. We should probably just head back to McGregor and Nyring because the battle closed up quite a bit, and it looked like it was getting a little bit heated as they're now, I believe that's Monroe just ahead of them, isn't it? Yeah, Monroe lost a significant amount of time, and these guys are now right up to the back of Monroe.
Look at the haze of dust. They can't see anything going to Dingle Dell in that TV shot at all. I don't know how the drivers are even seeing the apex. No wonder Davis was running wide so often there.
Yes, so... Oh, look, it's Monroe dropping another wheel, and this is allowing these guys to get a little bit closer. They're just closing up ever so slightly. So I'm just curious. So we're now getting to that point where people we might start seeing people pit for the undercut, get an early pit, and just try to hold them off at the end of the race. The undercut is something that it's kind of shooting yourself in the foot, but you give yourself some control. You get
track position is everything, isn't it?
I swear by it. And if you watch any of the broadcasts I commentate on, it's track position is everything. Especially if you're in a tight battle with 1, 2, 3, 4 cars, because it allows you to get ahead of that battle. These guys are battling and losing more time. If you can get ahead, get some fast, go get your new fresh tires, put some fast laps in, and then open up a gap on these guys who are battling. When they come out, they're going to be well behind you, and they'll still be battling.
Absolutely will be, and these two, talk about still battling, they're doing it all race long. Enderman and De Vries still together on the track. Oh, De Vries! Oh, they've gone to the blast on the acceleration, and in the wall he goes. Oh, that's damaged the front of that Sierra quite badly also as well. Let's put a quick replay of that.
Just coming through Surtees here. It's a nice entry to it. A little bit of a push and a late apex. Comes up, little wiggle, drops a rear wheel, slides to the inside.
That's a big hit.
That is a hard hit at that
That is
speed.
actually a very big hit, and his car doesn't look in the best of shape now. His cars are quite hardy, so he might be able to just carry on without repairing that kind of damage, but that was a big hit.
It was a nice, it was a decent shunt. So we're now...
Was it a decent lick, as they would say in NASCAR?
We've now started the 18th lap. Richards is now pitted.
He's had a 41-second pit stop, so he's repaired some damage. Probably not intentionally.
I would think that Davis would probably think about pitting now, but then again, he's now ahead of Holm, and he's seen that they're both kind of in the same boat for tire wears. Davis went a little bit wide out of Surtees. Or sorry, Graham Hill Ben.
Yeah, it's okay. And he's been doing that every lap though, hasn't he? It just seems to like that line. It's completely legal. His car is well within the boundaries. He just likes to run a little bit wide at that corner. And the curb is very narrow there also as well. So contributing towards that. Because everywhere else, you just there's a curb on the outside. I run wide to that, but then of course there isn't one there. So
yeah.
Oh, Davis sideways. He cannot be doing that. Cannot be distracted. He needs to concentrate. Full concentration.
Concentration. I think he should pit now. He's not really doesn't have anything to lose if he can get some fresh rubber, get out, do a couple of really quick laps. I think Holm is just menacing back there. He might try to look at the inside.
Would you pit him right now?
I would pit him right now, hands down. And
okay,
I know strategy.
You know strategy.
I do. Remember early on in the season, my
Suzuka,
strategy would have won the race. That's right.
Yeah, apparently.
Davis is going to be pitting.
No.
Oh no.
No, pit.
They're not listening. He's not listening.
Maybe they won't pit at all.
Oh no. No.
On Holm, on the inside. Going for it. No, that's great driving from Davis. Actually, put up the perfect line, and Holm didn't force the issue either. I think
John Monroe into the pits.
John Monroe into the pits then. So that's good. That's the first of the front runners to be into the pits, and so is Wiesenmüller also as well. He's into the pits as well. In he comes. Roars into his pit stop there as well. He only just got that slowed down. The Vries into
the pits.
He might be in with he might have a long pit stop. Let's see if he's turned off repairing damage. For those of you not familiar with that, your crew turn it off. Your crew in rFactor will automatically try to repair damage if you don't turn it off, and that's what John Monroe hasn't done. He's sat there waiting for repair damage for some small contact.
It's because he had small contact on the entry of pit as someone was pitted nearby him.
There's an invisible crew right now banging out the panels on his car for no reason at all. It doesn't help him in the slightest. But unfortunately, it's ruined his race now. But you can turn it off, and that's just one of the due diligence measures that you should really take when you're out there racing. But Davis is still leading this race. Will he pit this time around with Ross Menard and Daniel Beck also as well from this race? Butcher is still in third spot, very lonely third spot, 2.5 seconds ahead of Ross McGregor. He will be under threat from Monroe for the rest of the race, you feel now. So it's going to be McGregor and Nyring closing him down. He's because he's not pitting.
Are they going to be pitting now?
Davis
is
in.
In. Davis is in.
Holm stays out.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting as Davis needs to get in, get out, and put a fast out lap. So what can Holm do in terms of lap? Holm's last lap was a 133.2. Davis with good rubber was doing 132 flats.
Maybe Holm won't pit. Ooh. So we'll see the gap. We shall see the gap as we come up to it now. Davis will be coming through the first sector in about 20 seconds time or so. As Holm has put a lap there on Tomasz Demelin. He was well to be in the race actually to qualify just in the final dying seconds there as well. That was great stuff from him because I know he's been struggling this car all season. He's not had the time to practice in that car, and unfortunately in TPS, Keith, you do need time to practice, don't you? It's a very, very high level.
It is, yes. Practice is everything, especially for race distance stuff, because you just need to know what the car is going to react like. But Holm, I'm just quickly doing the math.
The gap is 19.7.
If he doesn't pit, there's 19 laps. All he needs is a second a lap. He'll do it. So Holm needs to pit this lap.
Yes, yeah. 33.2. He's going to drop off more than that, and Davis can do 32.
Yeah, he cannot not pit at this point. So
absolutely, I agree. So Vickers and Bassel with the pits then.
Yeah, we should see the leader pit. Adrian Holm should be coming in now. He's going to get the car slowed down.
And he comes.
Just.
Oh, that's a fantastic. not sure that was a spectacular pit entry
Okay.
there from Adrian Holm. In he comes.
Spectacular. That is the risks that do not need to be
Oh,
taken.
he's got two marks! Oh, that's cost him the win. That has cost him the win.
Well, we don't speak too soon.
No, that's cost him the win. That's cost him 4 seconds doing that.
Here is the other part. This is the other part that's going to come up, is that 11.8 for that pit stop. The other thing that's going to affect this now is that he should be, if he's dropped 4 seconds, he might get into the clutches.
Oh, he's only dropped a couple of seconds here, hasn't he?
But he hasn't dropped too much.
So
Not as much as you would have thought.
It's still cold tyres for this lap. So let's see it normalise over this lap because David's going to pull away here. Thought, anyway. Whole listings, he seems to be able to drive anything. It could be stone tyres on that car.
Yes, square stone tires.
Exactly. And fantastic. I wonder if Butcher's not pitting. He's going to go for broke and not pit, I think. Why not?
Oh,
Why not?
was that off of the
distance?
distance? A little bit of smooth there, a little bit of haze.
Looks like a Volvo. If I look just in the far distance, it is a Volvo. It looks like to me it's got to be Richards, because Enderman is behind Toby Davis, 6 seconds behind, having not pitted. So it's got to be Richards, who is kicking up the dust.
Yes. So we'll see how everything kind of levels out once we've done with this full pit cycle here. We'll see who is where strategy-wise.
1.7 seconds is the gap only. You know, if Holm hadn't made that mistake, he would have come out ahead of Davis. Without a doubt. He definitely lost 3 or 4 seconds in that reversing.
I would have thought for sure it would have been a bigger gap. So Davis probably maybe made a mistake on cold tires. Chris Butcher's into the pits.
Oh,
yes.
I'm surprised by that. He's waited a long time. Gets it woed down, just about. There we go. And McGregor is going around still. I wonder if he's not going to pit. One of these guys is not going to pit, surely. Come on. You can't all tease me.
There's 17 laps to go, so quite a ways.
Oh, in the gravel. Oh, that was a big moment, Keith.
That was a little bit of a push. We just seem to be expected of Toby.
Watch a replay of that. That was pretty sideways.
Look at how wide he is onto the entrance of turn 1. He's really trying to make time up.
You get the shot of it. Look how sideways he gets, Keith. That is as close to wrecking as you want to come.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Typical Toby Davis, always trying to get a laugh.
So Butcher has come out ahead of Kevin Enderman. That's key for his strategic play, at least, to stay in that third spot. You wouldn't have thought he was going to be catching Davis or Holm. He's now 8 seconds behind Davis as a result of staying out 2 laps longer, and also, obviously, not being as quick throughout this race so far. But if anything happens to those guys, he is going to obviously pick up this win.
Well, things haven't changed too much. We've got Matthew Orban, who has not pitted, has slotted into the 7th spot. Mikkel Helen.
No, we're not seeing too much of Mikkel, have we?
No, he's quietly just kind of running around, but Wiesenmuller is going to have quite a bit more pace. Wiesenmuller has pitted. Heasterbeek is in 10th with Dobbing in 11th, who hasn't pitted as well. Amaral has not pitted as well, too. So I think over the next 5 laps, things will slowly make their way. Oh, look at that. Adrian Holm, a 1:31.956 on fresh rubber. It's the fastest lap of the race.
And just 1.2 seconds behind Toby Davis now. That's worrying for Toby because he's had a better pit stop, and yet the gap is not any bigger. And pitted earlier. The undercut has not worked. He's going to have 1 lap older tyres. We saw how he struggled, especially in the middle phase of that first stint. It's going to be very interesting indeed. Let's go back to the front of the field. Here's Ross McGregor. He's leading this race. Remember, he has 4 Virtual Touring Masters wins under his belt, not on this mod. In last season, when we ran the DRM mod, he took 4 wins in 7 races and still didn't take the title because he was so inconsistent in the rest of the races. Jesper Tolborg decided he wanted to take the title. He won 7 podiums in a row in that. So that's what happened there. But Ross knows how to win races. He could go for broke here and not pit. That could very much be his play. He has Chris Hack advising him here today as his crew chief, come strategic artist. Remember, Chris Hack is a Touring Pro Series champion, Virtual Clear Series champion from earlier this year, so he knows what he's talking about. Whether he knows what he's talking about when it comes to strategy, I'm not quite sure, because Cleo's never involved strategy.
Ross is now running 1.6 seconds a lap slower than Adrian Holm.
But you track position and everything, Keith, you told me that.
Yes, but not when you're 1.6 seconds off. See, McGregor does a 1:33.2, so 1.3, so Now, the only thing is that when Davis
That's acceptable, though.
do come together, it is, but look, it's down to 7.6 to...
He's got a buffer. He's got a Klaus buffer between him.
He's got a Klaus buffer.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
It's a Klaus apart. So Davis now going through Druids. He's only a second ahead of Adrian Hull. You could say that Ross McGregor's a bit of a Klaus apart from the rest of the field right now, isn't he?
Just a little bit. Well, let's make a run down the field here, Ryan.
Yep.
Let's go through and just check where everyone is and give everyone some airtime here because we've seen the guys all up at the front here. It's kind of spread out and see if we can do this.
Yeah, Enderman is running his 6th spot now. He hasn't pitted. Heasterbeek has, and De Vries has, who he had been battling. He's now got an 18-second gap on De Vries. Not sure what's happened to De Vries. He's actually must have made a mistake somewhere.
No, remember De Vries went off and hit the wall, so he's got
Oh,
some
he
damage.
did, of course, yes. My apologies. That was a big damage.
Remember we caught that moment too?
We did indeed. We were actually on board. As he slapped the wall, the Armco. Wiesenmüller slid on the first lap, went back to 11th spot, has been recovering ever since. We'll back him to get at least, I would say, 6th spot here today. Going to get ahead of Kevin Enderman, surely, because Wiesenmüller has pitted and he has greater pace, or has shown greater pace at least. Matty Orban having a very solid run once again. He's got plenty of company though. Mikael Heller's been following him for much of the race, and now following them is Ruud Heasterbeek. Let's stick with this battle just for a few moments. Matty Orban knows how to score points in the championship. He's actually 4th in the championship at the moment. He has Mikael Hellen behind him. Mikael has a win in the Touring Pro Series way back in early 2011, maybe late 2010 it was, at Sherrard in the inaugural season of Virtual Touring Masters. He beat De Grief there. He's now going to come through and take 8th spot, or try to at least. Not going to work. The M3 is so quick into those fast corners, and he's looking all over the back of them. Helen now down the inside. He wants to take that 8th spot away, and Heasterbeek's going to follow him through surely.
Oh, Heasterbeek's stuck on the outside. I think what he's going to try, he just can't quite decide to pick a lane. As these guys, they have lots of grip. He's got extra rubber because these guys have not pitted. Heasterbeek down to the inside into Surtees. All right, he's got one, and he's going for the second. No, not going to do it.
So Heasterbeek now slots in between. So Helen is through. Orban will be looking like he's dropped a tenner and picked up 5 pence because he's dropped 2 positions here now.
And
then
Heasterbeek now.
And now
now
Orban has to take advantage, and he hasn't done. He's got a big slide on. Heasterbeek's through. So Heasterbeek carries on his merry way in pursuit of Robert Wiesenmüller. So Heasterbeek in 8th spot. And great battling here. As I say, that beautiful BMW 635 really is a fantastic car to look at.
Yes, it is. And Orban, and these, you can tell how much grip these cars has. Adrian Holm goes fast again.
Talk about consistency.
Mr. Consistency, the new Iceman.
And we've missed it actually, but Davis has got past Klaus Neiring through Paddock Hill Bend. I think that was because he was behind at the line. Yes, he was. We might get a replay here. We might get lucky. We are going to get pretty much most of the replay. He's going to go through that Paddock Hill Bend. That's it. He dived right down the inside with a ballsy move. And Davis is through. Now he has the Klaus buffer.
Yes.
Klaus Neiring.
Oh no, Adrian Holm is on Klaus Neiring.
That was that move. I'm not on Klaus Neiring at that point. That was very good actually. I was proud of that one. Anyway, so we've missed out all season. All season we could have done these Klaus puns. We didn't know about them. It's a bit too early for Christmas, Keith.
You must continue. You must continue racing. Yes.
So Davies has gone through. Holm wasted no time at all in going through. Neiring is now. He's locked into this strategy of not pitting surely now because.
You're committed, even though there is 13 laps to go. I mean, if he pits, he's going to be battling heavy with the guys who have pitted. I mean, he's running 33.
Let's put some mediums, perhaps. What do you think?
Super softs?
Super softs. We don't have super softs. We didn't have super softs in the 1980s, unfortunately.
No.
But look at the pace he's given up to the leaders there. His tyres have gone right off, I think. I think his tyres have gone off completely. I think he needs to come into the pits. Because otherwise he can get swallowed up by people like Wiesenmüller, for example. If he comes in now, put some fresh rubber on, he'll be able to stay ahead of Wiesenmüller through fresh rubber, perhaps.
I have a feeling that Wiesenmüller is going to catch Enderman, because Enderman is on the no-stop strategy, correct? The gap is 2.2.
It's going to be less as they cross the line this time round as well.
Yes, he's closing in big time. Klaus Neiring is in the pits.
Oh, he's actually heeded the advice. What if we put in mediums on, perhaps? That would be a good play. With only 13 laps to go. he bounces his way out of the pit lane. If he's got
Oh,
mediums on, that'd be a good idea.
If he's got mediums, he'll be a Klaus above.
No, Klaus apart. If I were Klaus above,
Yeah, he's in a class apart.
take me to the Klaus above. So Wiesenmüller is 1.4 seconds. We're gonna have to do this. No, everyone's gonna turn off and watching me. Just doing stupid.
Too much Klaus.
Too much Klaus.
Well, Ross McGregor is I got to give him credit. He's running very consistent with his lap times. 133.2, 33.3.
We're going to talk about consistency, Keith. This is what's been happening consistently throughout the race. These two.
Yeah, I think Toby's going to be...
McGregor will be loving this. But McGregor's doing fantastic lap time still.
133.3.
At this stage of the race is really, really good. He was doing that 10 laps ago.
Yes, and he still has 12 to go, but there is still a lot to be had between these two at the moment because we've already seen it. It's already been happening. It's going to happen again. Look at that. So Klaus Nyring did pit, and look where he came out. He's just behind Wiesenmüller. I think, yeah, Enderman probably should pit because he's going to lose a ton, and he's going to get swallowed up by all these guys.
But remember, Enderman was behind Heasterbeek anyway before those pit stops.
Yes.
So I'm thinking he may as well just stay out because we've got a decent gap back to Michael Helen, who is also no-stopping, Matteo Ban no-stopping, and Dobbing no-stopping. So there's no point really him pitting. Wiesenmüller just held on to that. Goodness me. He does like to get sideways with Robert Wiesenmüller. He's got Klaus Nyring is absolutely zooming up behind this battle now, actually. I wonder if he has got mediums on. It would be a great strategy to play, in my opinion, if he has.
Yeah, he'll definitely catch up to Wiesenmüller if that is the case. Because
he might do anyway, because of course he's going to have 10-lap younger tyres, 8-lap younger tyres.
Yes,
it's going to be.
So Robert
did
pitted very early. Well, was one of the earliest pitters. So
he was, yeah.
Yeah, and there's
as Davis and Holm still. Davis having to defend from Adrian Holm. I can't imagine, Keith, the intensity right now in these two. These two sat in their racing seats with their wheels clenched, white knuckles. They have been like this the entire race. The pace is absolutely ferocious, Keith, and unrelenting.
Yes, it is, and it takes a lot to take this kind of pressure for this many laps.
This is a lot of laps. These races are 150 kilometres in length. We've got 11 laps to go, another 44 kilometres, so they've passed another, probably another 44 kilometres. They've passed the 100 kilometre mark. So these two have been racing without mistakes at absolute maximum on the edge of adhesion for over 100 kilometres now, side by side, knowing the championship is right here. That's right. It's unbelievable pressure and concentration needed, Keith. This is what sets sim racing apart from other gaming.
It is. I mean, for the length of time that you're on that edge, that climax moment. This is a long climax moment because we still don't know what's going to happen. There's so many variables that could come up. We could run into lap traffic. I don't see McGregor giving them a hard time when they do get up on him, just because he is on a lot of the rubber as he slides coming out of Surtees.
His tyres have gone right now. They've gone off the cliff. This point right here, because he was 2 seconds ahead of them coming up to the start of this lap, and now he's less than half a second.
And,
but it's another conundrum for Davis to solve.
Yes,
how does he get past McGregor without allowing?
Nyring has just passed Wiesenmüller as well.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd point that out.
Yeah, so I think Nyring has put those medium tyres on.
So, but back up to Davis though, because this is the McGregor situation. As Davis is trying to find his way, McGregor is not making it easy. As Holm now gets a run, looking down the inside, not going to do it. McGregor he's not going quietly into the night.
He's not. And the conundrum here for these drivers is how to get past cleanly without losing any time or letting the other driver get past. And McGregor is not making it easy at all. You're absolutely correct, Keith.
Why should he? Out of Clark though, there you can see the difference in grip as Davis holds the inside. McGregor's to the outside using the power, but McGregor's going to have to brake, I would think, as Davis goes down to the inside through. Holmes gets squeezed by McGregor. McGregor not picking it up easily, but Holmes has the inside as Davis goes defensive into. Oh, look at this! This is through Druids. They just slot in just nicely, and now Davis has his lead.
Beautiful racing. They are inches apart all the way through paddock, all the way through Druids, and not a scrap of pace left.
That's exactly right. And now it is back to where we were what, maybe 20 laps ago?
Contact there is there. Davis running a little bit deeper than he normally does into that corner there. Not intentionally, just a small, it's a very, very small error, but Holm turned in exactly where Davis normally turns in. And there was a small bit of contact, and now he's gone down the inside again into Hawthorne. It's sideways. This is very reminiscent of course, it's a Sierra and a Skyline rather than two Sierras, but back in 1987, the battle between Rouse and Sofa, which is popular on YouTube, where Sofa had to go defensive into Hawthorne's every single lap. This is like that.
Yeah, this is this is exactly what we saw about 18 laps ago. We have now 9 to go. We're coming up to 8 to go with the completion of this lap. But there was a point where Holmes seemed to drop off just a little bit, and Davis was able to stay there.
It was very good in the middle stint, wasn't it? In the middle part of the first stint, and then dropped away in the second, in the final, like the split was third into third, wasn't it? Where they were even in the first third of the first stint, and in the middle third of the first stint, Holm had the edge. Then in the final third, Davis had the edge. It was very curious.
Too many fractions for me. As they go into Druids, Holm is going to try to find a way around, and it's going to be probably...
the Druids were great mathematicians.
They were, yes.
Continuous link for the win.
The move that's going to come from Holm is going to be a very Davis defensive, Holm to the outside crossover type move, because Davis knows he's weak in a lot of areas, like up against the power of the Skyline. Now, the tires are going to be interesting to see where they go in the next couple laps, because Davis does have one extra full lap on those tires. You can see there's the defensive. Davis taking a half of a lane, one lane in, slowing it down at the apex to prevent a crossover. But Holm has been here already. He made it by. Davis was behind him, and then he made it by. So I don't know. I got no prediction. Nothing.
It has been a fantastic race so far. It really has. These two, you've not seen 100 overtakes, but you've seen 100 massive examples of why these two are top drivers.
Exactly. And I mean, everyone else is having a great run, but these two have. Well, I mean, everything's on the line here for Davis. Holm, not so much. He could just decide, okay, I'm not going to keep pushing, and he would be fine championship-wise. But I don't think that's just in the nature for Holm. He's going to push and try to take the win here if he can.
Well, he was saying to me earlier that he admires Prost. That's who he admires as a racing driver. And that's a very clinical, calculating, low-risk kind of driver. Whereas Holm admires, Davis admires Hamilton. And Hamilton's a very talented, show all that you've got all at once, no frills kind of driver. But liable to make mistakes, and that's the big picture as a result. So, it's very much been that way this season so far. So Holm,
yes,
if there's an overtake to make, it will be a low risk overtake. He won't be a dive down the inside at Westfield like Toby did. It will be a make Toby make the mistake, and I'll go around the outside or do a cutback. So
sounds legit. I like the logic. We've lost Anders Nilsson as well, so we've had 4 DNFs so far this race. Ross McGregor is hanging on to that 3rd position he's only 3.7 back, but I do believe he'll get eaten up by Butcher.
Well, there's only 6.5 laps to go. 6.5 laps to go, and will McGregor get eaten up by Butcher, because the gap is more than 6 seconds.
And Butcher will have worn over his tires pretty good. But Heasterbeek is up to 7th, just ahead of Enderman now. And the people who have not stopped are Enderman, Helen, Orban, and I believe David Yunt as well. So those guys are all kind of in that, the top 10 edge area there, top 12. Had a kill sideways as they coming into some lap traffic here. Davis is going to need to find a way by quickly.
It's surprising actually that Ethan Bass has been lapped here, because he's had a very strong season actually so far in the Skyline. He's been very well. He's been picked up, driven the Skyline before and not done too well, but then in this season he's picked up some tips from the other drivers and done a very good job indeed. So that's surprising to me to see Ethan so far back. Maybe it's just these drivers are so far forward.
Well, I mean, Davis and Homer on another keel at the moment, and it's clear to see after this many laps of this nose-to-tail stuff, it's hard to take your eyes away. And I mean, there are a lot of guys racing at the moment. It is fairly spread out around the field. You cannot take your eyes off this. This is where something major, something big is going to happen here. There's going to be a fantastic move, a fantastic defensive move, something, because we now have some variables ahead. We have a couple of lap carts just
variables
ahead.
that are going off the track as well. Lennon, they're very slow on the racing line. Will he get out of the way? He's not in the way right here. And he's going to have to go through the corner a bit quicker to make sure he gets out of the way. Davis does, so that's all good. He's managed to get back up to speed. That's good. So we've got Vickers ahead of him as well. So Davis flashing his lights and saying thank you. So Leonard gets out of his way. We've got Vickers up ahead of them. Will be their next victim to be lapped. So that will put 19th place in
look at
down.
the run Holm has here. Got a nice run. Coming to the final corner. Holm down to the inside. He's got overlap. Davis cuts down. Holm eases off.
What a fantastic he's driving with both those drivers there. Not to make contact.
Yes, and Holm, you could tell Holm saw Davis turning. He was going for the corner. Holm lifted off a little bit just to prevent any kind of situation. But he knows that Davis has got to get everything out of this race, where Holm does not. It's not needed for the grand scheme of things here. So I think, like you said, it's going to be a very calculated pass should Holm try to go by
Davis. And we talked about the intensity of this race and how difficult it is, concentration and whatnot. But these two will be enjoying this race thoroughly.
Yes. Well, I can tell you one person who will not be enjoying the race is John Monroe. Had a great race going. He's running in 15th currently because of his misstep in the pits. It just goes to show how one miscalculation could put you so far back when you had such a promising run going.
Absolutely true. And never has it been more true in this battle right here also as well, because the thing is, if you do spin off the track, you're going to probably drop behind Chris Butcher and back to 4th spot. So mistakes from either of these drivers could be costly.
Yes.
Remember, these are 50-point races as well, not the 30 points that we've seen at the sprint races. So there is a little bit more at stake.
Yeah, it's actually quite. I'm just looking through the splits here.
Oof.
It's really kind of spread out amongst the people who were battling so close. This is the closest battle on track.
Here we go. It could be it. Holm down the inside. He slid it right in. Yes, that's perfect. Driver from Holm. He slid it in to make sure Kirby didn't have a run around the outside, and then the inside. This corner down here. Beautiful stuff from Holm.
Yeah, that was absolutely textbook.
Sideways there right for the camera. That was beautiful. Now, can Davis repeat what he did in the first race? The first stint.
Well, he's going to have to. He's put everything out there so far. He gets a little bit sideways coming out of Surtees.
Watch the replay. Talk us through it, Steve.
Well, it's just the run coming out of Paddock Hill Bend. Davis runs a little wide. It was a little more of a better entry for Holm, which allowed him to get down low, and he was by well in, but he slid up the racetrack just a little bit. He didn't intentionally create contact, but what he's doing is he's taking the lane away for Davis to slow down.
Davis is back through. And it's the same place, Westfield. There's lap traffic as well. That could be disastrous. Devlin gets out of the way. Auckland out of the way as well. That was good driving. Both those drivers there not to be involved. We'll have to try and get on the replay. Here we go. It was at Westfield. Look, it's the same place. Look.
No, Holm. He just put a nose in.
Oh, look, he's gone. He's gone.
Goes sideways.
Sideways there. That allowed the overlap. Look.
And Davis had a nose in.
Davis had a full overlap.
And so what happens is Davis.
And it's a carbon copy, Keith.
It is, yes.
Absolute carbon copy.
Look at how close he came. Look at how close he came to ending that. So, but let's get back to life, because Davis is now leading on Holm through Druids. McGregor is 7.9 back of this battle. Butcher is closing in on him. He's only 2.7 back of McGregor for 3rd position. Not too much has changed in behind there. But these guys, this is the battle right here. He's to be convincing
are close as well. So this is the battle we want to watch, I'm afraid. Sorry if you're all battling on track, you want to see somebody else. But this has been a fascinating, intense, wonderful battle between the two championship contenders and the two top drivers in these cars right now.
Yeah, Holm lost a little bit there. You got sideways coming out of Surtees, just dropped the wheel. But I think I was surprised to see that. That was a little uncharacteristic. He just pushed a little too deep. So, I don't think I can't really say he's rattled, but I think that at this point now it's a couple laps to go. Don't take any big chances, Holm. If you're thinking long term in this championship, just Take your points. I mean, it's easy to say that from here. You're driving. You just spent 140 kilometers chasing Toby. You
got past him twice.
Yes, exactly.
Must be very frustrating.
2 seconds between McGregor and Butcher now.
That's going to be very interesting at the end of this race as well. And we now quickly hop back now to Wiesenmuller and Heasterbeek are very close. Wiesenmuller very close to crashing once again. I think Heasterbeek pitted a lap after Wiesenmuller. So he might have a slightly better tyres here. It looks like he's got slightly better pace as well as Wiesenmuller pops out from behind Gary Lennon. Lennon lets him go through. Heasterbeek now is going to be right all over the back of Wiesenmuller. Wiesenmuller sideways absolutely everywhere at the moment. And for anybody who's complained about how fast the Skyline is or whatever, look at the contrast between Wiesenmuller, a fantastic driver in his own right, and Hulm. Very, very different the way the cars are handling.
Contact.
And of course, the speed as well. Oh, and it's very, very close as they go down the hill and now up Pilgrim's Rise around Druids.
Oh, what a crossover there!
But it doesn't matter because it's an outside look.
Wiesenmuller is really fighting to keep
wounded.
that car where it is.
He's wounded, and Heasterbeek smells the blood.
He does. He's ravenous at the moment, and he's just thinking about, okay, where do I take this beautiful Skyline down? And it just seems like a matter of time with this many laps to go.
He's moving from Wiesenmuller. That's absolutely insane. His car looks so stiff. It hits a curb and just flies off the track.
Well, just ahead, the gap's now 0.4 between Butcher and McGregor for the third position. I can't quite see, the gap is not showing for Hulm and Davis, but I'm going to assume they're very, very close. Yeah, never mind.
It's a good assumption to make. You won't be betting any betting companies giving you odds on that one.
No.
So McGregor and Butcher, this should be the pass right here for Butcher. As he's got this overlap and have the inside run now. It's a short run, of course, on the inside as well. And he should. Oh no, he's not got the power though. Unfortunately, he's not made it.
Butcher does have the better tires of the two. McGregor's been on the same tires this entire race, which is a fun way to go. As Butcher crosses over, he's down to the inside into Druids. Looking to go by McGregor for third position. Book it. And McGregor he doesn't have I don't think he's going to have an answer with the tires he's got.
No.
As Butcher goes through, takes third position.
It's a valiant effort from him, but he's lost that. He's lost that third spot, hasn't he? He was fourth anyway, I think, wasn't he? Well, he was behind John Munro. And just ahead of Klaus Nyman, so he'll finish in that way in the end. But it has been a faster strategy eventually over Klaus because he has got a 9-second gap over Klaus. Unfortunately, hasn't really borne out in terms of points paying positions, but at least had a go at it.
Exactly, yeah, and we're now on the penultimate lap here.
We are.
Adrian Hulm has dropped at 0.8 behind Toby Davis, but Wiesenmuller and Heasterbeek are close in battle, as we've seen Wiesenmuller just sliding everywhere.
That car is just jumping around on its shocks. You see the corrections he's making, lightning fast oversteer corrections as he puts some power and out of Surtees.
But he's still pulling away though at some time. As he's drifting into the corner, he's still pulling away from Heasterbeek.
Heasterbeek must be thinking, what on earth? How is he staying ahead of me? How is he even on track?
Yes, exactly. Well, we're going to be starting the final lap here very shortly as Toby Davis and Hulm are now close again, once again, to start the final lap. We've seen this all race long between these two drivers, championship contenders, both race winners. Toby Davis, former champ. Hulm is looking to, I don't know, I think this is just maybe just a pride thing as he looks through Druids. Just gets a better run off. And down into Graham Hill Bend. Davis looks good. He looks better than he's ever looked at the end of a race.
It seems at the end of things, his car seems to settle down. It's very strange. Very strange indeed.
How he manages, but Hulm is just close enough as you see. Hulm is looking a little bit. It's just a little wiggly right now, but Davis not wiggling. It's a very odd thing to see. The roles reversed.
Oh, there we go. We're back to the normal.
Davis wiggle.
The normal, what's the word? I'm trying to get the normal scheme of things. Is that the word?
Yes,
that'll do. Anyway, final lap of the race. We've got half a lap to go. Can Davis hold on? He needs to hold on. His championship hopes hang by a thread. He'll add one more thread to it if he manages to hold off Adrian Hulm here. It'll still be a long shot, but at least bookies will take your bets. Now as they head now from down Clear Race into Clark's. He's got one corner to go. Can Toby Davis take his second win in a row at Brands Hatch GP circuit? He is going to do so.
Yes, he will.
Toby Davis takes the win here. He holds off his friend and championship rival Adrian Holm in a fantastic, marvellous, intense race between these two drivers. Congratulations to him. Congratulations also to Adrian Holm. But looking back now, we've got Wiesenmuller and Heasterbeek, 6th and 7th. Who's going to be 6th? Is it Wiesenmuller? Is it Heasterbeek? Heasterbeek's got one more corner. Maybe he got on the exit because Wiesenmuller's been so silent. Round the outside. He's going to try it. Wiesenmuller's not going to like it. Around the outside, not going to work. Wiesenmuller's got the power. He's got the inside line as well. And they flash across the line
close.
as Heasterbeek finishes 7th on his Touring Pro Series debut. He had a fantastic race. We saw some great battling early in the race for him. And Wiesenmuller finally does what he's been threatening to do the entire race and spins out of the track. So Davis there doing his donuts, flashing his lights. That was an amazing performance from Toby Davis and from Adrian Holm. It was a shame to see one of them not win.
I kind of like that shot we just got there of Davis doing the donuts with the banner in the background. We didn't get our rundown from the normal
no, we didn't, did we? The
but,
time's been weird today, hasn't it? Apologies for that, but these are the results. Absolutely. Sorry, Keith, carry on.
Oh no, it was just kind of lost my train of thought. But no, the timing's been a little bit funny this race, but apologies for that. But
he loses his time. He loses his train of thought all the time. People don't worry about that.
Yes. I don't keep a train schedule, so. But I mean, the race was fantastic. There's still a hope. There's still a hope for Davis on the championship. But I got to say, I mean, Holm is such a clutch. He's such a grab on this championship right now with the lead, the consistency.
Who else can beat him apart from Davis? That's the issue.
No, it's between him and Davis, and that's it. But
what I mean is like who can beat him in the races? Because Davis needs that. He needs somebody to get in front.
That's right.
No, it's just
exactly.
Who's going to do that, Keith? Who can do that? Do you see anybody capable of doing that? We go to Trois-Rivières next.
Ooh, well, no, Trois-Rivières is a place where things can happen. So
things can happen. Ooh,
yes, things can happen, and I'm not making a prediction, but I'm saying that there are things that can happen. That's right.
Like cars driving around the circuit. Anyway,
yes,
we're going to be back in a few minutes' time. We're going to get some reaction from the drivers from that very intense race. It was fantastic stuff, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it live, which you probably didn't because our page is broken, I'm sure you enjoyed it on YouTube instead. We'll be back in a few minutes' time. Hello and welcome back to the driver interviews now from the 7th round of the Virtual Touring Masters Classic season. We just had a fantastic race at Brands Hatch where Adrian Holm and Toby Davis duked it out for the entirety of the race for the race win. Toby Davis was the victor and we've got him in the press booth now. Toby, your thoughts and feelings at the end of that race?
Well, I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm absolutely soaked for a kick-off. I said to Adrian straight after we crossed the start-finish line, mate, that was the hardest race I've ever done on sim racing. It seriously was. And you know what? I've got him back. I've got him back for Laguna Seca. So
you mentioned it's the hardest race you've ever done, even harder than Barbagallo in V8's 2012.
yes,
Even harder than that. Fantastic.
yes. And the reason being is because I was concerned that Adrian was quicker than me. He was. He was behind me the whole way. He overtook me twice, and then made two little errors that allowed me back through. So
you got overtaken both times. It seemed like Holm did have the measure of you in terms of pace, but after you got past the first time, you clung on to the back of him and then repassed him. Did you think you would do that? Did you think you would actually or did you think he was going to go?
I knew as soon as... it was the slipstream that pulled me in. That's what got me pole as well. I was slipstreaming Gary Lennon. And down the back straight, it's worth 0.3 probably. So I knew if I lost the slipstream, that he'd just disappear. He was a good 2 or 0.3 quicker than me, I would say. But as it happens, I managed to keep in the slipstream.
Because you knew if you lost the slipstream that he was gone, what were you thinking as you were behind him? Was there a feeling of panic? Was there a feeling of anxiousness?
Not really. I knew I had to get back through quickly, or else he'd settle into a rhythm and not be watching his mirrors. So I was so thrilled to get back by both times, particularly the second time. So close to the end of the race. I thought I'd lost it. I thought I'd thrown it away. So good to get back through, and I also nailed the pit stop as well, and that was important. Did the undercut on him just by a lap, got the pit phase second lap quicker than him, and that was critical as well. So I'm absolutely delighted, Ryan, and actually, quite frankly, I'm not thinking championship right now. I'm thinking about beating him on a race by race basis. He needs to finish. I haven't done the maths, but I have a feeling he needs to do worse than second in at least one race before the end of the season for me to win.
Yeah, I mean, the gap at the moment, we have the standings for you guys now, and the gap is 29 points between Holm and Davis at the top of the standings. If Holm comes second in the next two races, of course, he will win this championship. So Davis is taking it one race at a time. Holm will be taking it one race at a time, I'm sure, also as well. Adrian, your thoughts after that amazing battle?
Oh, knocking off Toby at Brands Hatch in the Sierra is going to take a lot of effort to do that. So I'm happy with second, really happy, to be honest. His car was just a little bit better in the areas where it mattered, and he just clung on to me when I got past. And yeah, slight mistake here and there, but I don't think it changed the outcome of the race dramatically.
Now, Davis talked about the pit stop and how his undercut helped him get through. What he's not aware of is actually, it was your mistake, wasn't it, Adrian, that allowed him to go through, because you missed your pit box.
Yeah, but I don't think it did any major difference that either, because I caught up with him again, and I don't think I'll be able to stay ahead.
You could possibly have been ahead of him though if you executed the pit stop, to perfection, coming out of the pits.
Yeah, but a lot of unknown variables, lap cars, how we're gonna when you're catching them, how it's gonna play out. So I don't think about it too much.
Yeah, I mean, you must rate your chances in the championship pretty highly now. 29-point lead, just 2 races to go. That's. I mean, if someone had offered you at this start of the season, you would have bitten their hand off, surely.
Yes.
Well, that's the answer for you. That's fantastic stuff from Adrian. He's given us really lots of insight there. Thank you, Adrian.
Thank you.
Anyway, we're now going to talk to Chris Butcher, who finished third in that race. And Chris, more strong pace shown by yourself. Another podium to add to your TPS collection. Not quite enough for the two guys ahead of you, and a bit of a lonely race. Any thoughts?
I wish I'd put a little bit more practice in, to be honest with you, because the pace was there or thereabouts.
How many times do you say this, Chris?
Yeah, I know, but I went to Snetterton and then I just not had the energy. Anyway, yeah, I think I actually caught the leaders very slightly in the last stint, but that's undoubtedly because of their ridiculous battle. But I was, it wasn't an easy race for me, even though it was quite lonely. I was pushing very hard all the way through the second half of the race because I had to catch Ross. I very nearly didn't catch him.
Yeah, it was crucial that.
And it was crucial that I didn't make a mistake, which thankfully I didn't do. I had a couple in the first stint, which just the gap to the front two, but I was never going to keep up with him. I just have the ultimate pace, but I was happy with it considering it's Brands Hatch. It's a track that I've never really run that well at. Yeah, an okay race.
And you got Trois Rivières coming up next. You ran pretty well there in season 2 before a big slide and then a bump from Toby to set you out of the running. How do you rate your chances there, if you can get some practice in?
I'm going to put loads of practice in for this. I know I keep saying it, but I actually will. I don't know. I mean, Toby's going to be very hard to beat there. We'll see. It's going to be pretty decent. We should have a good chance of beating the Skylines. It was a bit more evenly matched at this track, but there it very much swings in our favour. So it's just going to be a case of beating Toby, I think, which is never easy. So we'll see.
And who's your bet for the championship? They're both THR teammates. What do you think?
No, don't make me make that decision.
Come on.
What tracks have we got left? Trois Rivières
And Bathurst.
Bathurst. It's going to be Adrian, I think.
Okay. Oh, controversy. No, it's not really controversy, is it? Most people would bet that. Anyway, thank you, Chris, for that interview. And is Ross in the booth at the moment? Has Ross made his way in here? He hasn't. He's ignorant. With Rob, we'll talk to Rob. Rob had a very eventful race. Rob, a slide on lap 1, a charge back through the field. There's some great battling with Heasterbeek and Enderman and De Vries, and then a great battle at the end with Heasterbeek where you just held off. Your car looked very leery.
Yeah, I pushed very hard because I figured out pretty soon that I didn't have the pace of the guys ahead of me, and I also made a mistake early on, so I was just there for the fun, and I tried to push this car to the limit, and I failed a few times, had a few half spins. And in the end, Root was catching up a lot, had much better tires than me, but with the top speed of my car, I could hold him off. And it was actually very entertaining, that race.
Yeah, you had a great race. I mean, what was your favourite part of the race?
Well, the battle with Root was great at the end, but it was also, at the time I was thinking he will probably catch me, because he was catching up quite a lot. What I really liked was, actually after I made the mistake, in the beginning, I could just fly past the other cars. It's so easy to pass in the skyline. And I think one car, I think it was Matt Richards or Enderman, I got him sliding down the inside of turn 1. That was pretty fun to battle with these guys. It was all very, very fair as well. So there was no contact at all, basically.
I mean, you've got Trois Rivières coming up next for the Skylines, and they are slated to struggle there. What are your thoughts?
I like the track, actually. It's quite fun. So
it's not about whether you like the track or not.
Yeah, I
do well.
It's hard to say. I didn't really practice so much. Just a little bit before the season, but it was daylight conditions when I practiced, and I was faster in the Sierra than in the Skyline on this track. So I think it will be hard, but top 10 in this car is possible everywhere, definitely.
Okay, so Rob, looking forward. I'm looking forward to seeing Rob as well. There's plenty of excitement in his race. I'm looking forward to watching him later in the season at Trois Rivières. And that's right, Rob mentioned there that Trois Rivières is at night time, a night street race. So not only does it have the narrowest corner in sim racing, I think in the world actually, in terms of racetracks, it's also going to be at night time. So it's going to be a fantastic race. We'll have one more interview here. I'm going to speak to Kevin Enderman. Kevin has made his way back all the way from Australia, back to his homeland, Germany, and he's back racing with us in the Touring Pro Series. Made his debut back in the Virtual Touring Masters at Salzburg Ring. Didn't go too well in terms of strategy in the tyres, but today was much more successful, wasn't it, Kevin?
Yeah, it went really well today. It's good to be back, and today I just got the Volvo to the likings, and at the end I couldn't fight because I had decided not to pit, but still had a blast today.
You had some fantastic battles with Matt and Sven de Vries and Heasterbeek. Just talk us through that.
Well, Matt pretty much had everybody behind, and I just wanted to go because Mikael and Mate, we got away from them, but because we battled, we just didn't get far enough. Sadly, Matt wrecked later on, which was sad because, we were both running Volvos and I wanted to see him go well as well. But it was a lot of fun racing with Sven and Rude, but at the end, I was very worried because I struggled with speed at the end, and Mika got really close, and I thought he's going to get me.
But you held him off in the end. You've got Trois Rivières coming up next, and your car is absolutely ideal. It's tailor-made for that track. I'm expecting big things, Kevin.
I'm actually not sure if I can race because uni starts again, and last year they changed settings for the internet on campus. And I live on campus, so I'm actually not sure if I can compete.
That'll be a shame.
It will be, but we will find out then. But I hope I can compete. I like the track, and I got a bit something up. I'm still going with it after getting taken out last year in the Nissan on lap 1 there.
Yes, it was 2 seasons ago that was, wasn't it? In the at Trois Rivières. So yes, you got that coming up, and good luck in the rest of the season, Kevin, if you were able to race it, and good luck to all of the drivers later in the season also as well. We've got 2 races left in this championship. It's all about Adrian Holm and Toby Davis. Today has been all about Adrian Holm and Toby Davis. This time, Davis was the victor. Next time, it could be Holm. Davis is the favourite, though, going into Trois Rivières. Put the pressure on Adrian Holm. Can Holm keep up that gap in the championship? We'll find out in 2 weeks' time. Thank you to all the drivers for entertaining us tonight. Thank you for watching. Thank you to all of our partners that make this kind of racing possible. And until then, good night and take it easy.